I feel like it just gives you a lot more confidence too.
Like how so?
I don't know. It just gives you more confidence because you know what you know, and you know that you're capable of persuading someone in a way.
Sales 101. Like, there's money in their pocket, and you want to get that money in your pocket. They're not just going to hand you money just because you got cute dimples. They're going to hand you money because what's in it for them, and you framing it what's in it for them. And the art of persuasion. That's sales 101. People ask me what I do for a living for the longest time. My answer was always super simple. I sell money for a living.
Yeah, I do remember you always saying that.
Yeah. And they were like, what? I mean, what do you
How
mean?
do you sell money?
And I think it's when you combine persuasion with personality, you're able to flourish in any conversation. The whole mindset is like, if Dad said, "Oh, I'm a loan officer," okay, cool. Then they got you in a box.
Yeah.
Versus if you say, "Yeah, I sell money for a living," then they're like, "Well, what does that mean?" They're curious.
Yeah.
So think of like your elevator speech. You're making them curious, and they're drawn into you. And I think it's just an art of framing. All right, so having clients already have trust in you is very important because they're pre-sold.
So, like, for example, I got a call yesterday, and I hopped on and I said my intro. Hi, I'm Brayden here with Aspire Mortgage. How are you doing today? And the guy, you could tell, was already on defense. And then as I got later into it, I was like, yeah, it looks like you worked with Wally back in the past. He's like, oh, Wally. You should have started with that. Yeah, for sure. Blah, 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 blah. Then I feel like definitely like the name helps the client, especially with your goofy first name and our goofy last name. It definitely stands out. So it definitely helps whenever someone knows the name and knows the credibility. And it's like, oh, I haven't talked to Wally in forever. Like, for example, I was looking at Alex's old text messages just to see how it kind of worked and all that. And he would say, they'd be like, oh, Wally, I haven't talked to him forever. How's he doing? Tell him I said hi. So I think just the name and credibility definitely helps with the sale.
I would assume you have the same kind of success if your name is John or Sally, but I think I've always tried to emphasize the name Wally as like a goofy name that they remember.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know if you remember or not, but around COVID, we had a water leak at the house. And there was a plumber that came to the house. The plumber looks at me and goes, after I introduced myself, and a street name was Waterfall, and he made a joke. He goes, now I know why your street name is called Waterfall. There's water coming everywhere. And the plumber goes, oh, you're Wally from Team Wally. I always thought you were a cartoon. And
really?
yeah, and he was like, he just thought like my name Wally was just a cartoon name as a marketing ploy. I'm like, no, I'm just a normal dude.
With a leak in my house.
Yeah, with a lot of leaks in the house. Thank you, COVID. But yeah, I think it's when you emotionally connect with a borrower and you help put a roof over their head, they see value in you. And when you continue that value, 7-day call, the 30-day call, it makes it really easy to monetize on the relationship on the 6-month call and then the annual mortgage view. I think where most loan officers and most salespeople struggle is they want the quick cash. They want the quick success. I pray and I hope that one of the things that instills in you this week is you understand the long game is the only game.
Yeah, I for sure noticed that this week, especially reading, for example, those 7-day, 30-day, 6-month and AMRs, and then the efficiency checkups. If they've had a good experience, they know the name. They're like, oh, on this, for example, on the 6-month, it's like, oh, they've already called me twice, making sure I knew when to pay.
Yep.
Checking up, see how I like the house. If there's anything they could do for me, like, why not talk to them?
Yeah. The way the model was built was we built a 7-day call. We analyzed what questions do we get asked day 10, day 15, day 20. And we built that in the 7-day call and was able to walk them through, hey, this is what you're going to experience the next 7 to 10 days. Let me go ahead and answer all those questions for you right now. Like, oh my God, like this dude's thinking about me.
Yeah.
Then the 30-day call came from, hey, what questions do we normally get asked day 45, day 50, day 60? Then we made that into the 30-day call, which made it, we're like, oh my God, now they're thinking about me again. Like you make all these deposits, and when it comes to the 6-month call at the annual mortgage review, it's so much easier to take withdrawals out.
Yeah, and I definitely think like people will get on the phone sometimes and be like, oh, it's a sales call. They're trying to get me to refinance so they make money. And so I think definitely with those 6-day and 30 days, just building a relationship with them, and it's like, oh, well, Wally can help me dispute my taxes. Let's see if he can save me some money. So they're more likely to get on the phone.
I love it. All right, so if the campaign says high alert, put those on Wally's calendar versus Madison's calendar. You understood and you learned that high alert means like a trigger for like HomeBot or Sales Boomerang. Yeah, I think earlier in my career was, hey, I'm just going to call my past clients and I'm going to try to monetize or opportunities there. But you realize like now you can use technology to get a client to raise their hand by having a trigger. And what I'm referring to is these two major technologies that we use, Sales Boomerang and HomeBot. And HomeBot's like a digital technology tool of their mortgage. Now that you're realizing that there's technology and there's automation, did you know that before you came in, or is that a surprise for you?
No, I did not know that. It's honestly pretty impressive how y'all use the technology, especially in that spot, like the client concierge, like whether it's the Jungo technology or like the HomeBot technology, and how it can give you those alerts. And it's like, hey, this person has a lot of equity in their house. Maybe call them to see blah, blah, blah. So I think that was very impressive. I did not know that.
Well, this allows us to be a laser instead of being a shotgun.
For sure.
And the laser is much more effective and much more profitable than a shotgun. And I think what I talked to you about earlier, how I opened this, was the ability to be effective during your time while you be efficient. Mm-hmm. Where I work the same 8 hours that Tom, Dick, and Harry work, but my 8 hours are more productive than theirs.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm more of a laser and the other loan officers are more of a shotgun.
There you go.
There you go. I got it down. All right. So as we kind of wrap up, walk me through a little bit around what do you feel like your next stage is, your next phase? Are you just going to do this through college, or do you have any interest in learning what a loan officer assistant does? Like, what does this kind of look like for you?
I think definitely the loan officer assistant side is pretty interesting, just especially if I want to get into this in the future. I think that would be pretty interesting to learn about. I don't know if I'll be able to do it through college. I'm pretty busy up in Arkansas.
Yeah, busy, huh?
Yeah, very busy.
Very busy. Playing golf daily,
working
hanging
my
out with
job, doing school. Those are my top two.
Got it. All right. Well, enjoy college. Understand, remember, like, reality hits when you graduate.
Am I going to stay an extra year?
No. On your dime, not my dime. I'm paying for a 4-year party, not a 5-year party.
Darn.
All right. Closing thoughts about your week. So what I want you to do is look at the camera and share with the camera if there's a father or if there's a mother out there that has a child that they want to bring into their professional world. What advice do you have for that parent that you feel like I did well with you? And or what advice do you have for that parent that you feel like I did not do well bringing you in this week that they can do a great job with their kid?
I feel like just starting them off young for sure. I think that's what kind of gets interesting, like gained me to get interested in this topic. I think that was the one thing you did pretty well. I don't know if anything you did bad.
I'm sure there was 10,412 things that I did poorly, but
not with like the mortgage side of it. Maybe yelling at me too many times. But I would say
like you never deserved it at all.
Never. I don't know what I did wrong. But I'd say starting them off young and just not forcing them into it, but like educating them in the process and the steps, and if it sticks, it sticks. If not, then go do what they want to do.
I think when you were growing up in the golf game, I remember a lot of times I was showing you, I was watching golf on a Sunday, and I kept on pulling up the purse that they'd win and the prize money they'd win, and you fell in love with Tiger and Rory and all those other guys, and I think you use that as like the ability in life to be able to expand your kids' horizons, expand your kids' knowledge. If you don't know my story about alcohol, I quit drinking alcohol March of 2024. I went through 100 days without drinking, and Brayden and I have been rather competitive with each other.
Just a little bit.
And he goes, "Dad, I bet you can't go a year." Me trying to set an example, I went a full year without alcohol and realized, like, okay, I'm going to go 2 years without alcohol.
Yeah.
And you going to do that with me next year?
No, not next year. Turn 21 in September.
21 in September, huh?
Yep.
As a father, as a mother, biggest thing that I wanted to bring to you guys today is a different perspective of, I really hope he goes and be successful in whatever realm or whatever industry he wants to be in. However, it's great to see he be excited to plant these tools of persuasion and verbal strength in a conversation with him, and especially his younger brother, which is 18, Alexander, but then also like where the trajectory of his career of the art of persuasion.